Hi everyone and welcome back to Maths and Physics with Mr. Simons. Today's lesson we're looking at grade 10 equations and we're starting with the basics. So therefore we're looking at the first variation out of 9 that we are supposed to teach you at school. And this is solving linear equations. Now linear equations you've already done in grade 8 and you've done it in grade 9. So this should more be of refreshment. Right, now you see I've said there's 9 variations. I've typed out a table for you so you can see which is these 9 variations. They're extremely important before we look at the work. Right, so grade 10 equations can be broken up into solving linear equations. Right, and if you feel you know it, you can tick off the checkbox if it's done. Then we need to know how to solve for x by taking out a common factor. So first rule of factorization generally is always to look if there's a common factor. Number 3, solving equations involving a difference of two squares. Then we're going to solve quadratic equations by means of factorization, which in itself has 4 to 5 variations. Then we're going to look at the easier fraction problems where we have algebraic fraction equations with single terms as denominators. Then solving x by grouping terms. Then we're going to make items the subject of the formula while solving literal equations. Literal equations are the equations we use in physics, some of them in maths when we calculate area, etc. Right, and we must know how to manipulate these equations. Inequalities, we have to learn how to solve inequalities, not only for equations but functions too. Then very important, solving simultaneous equations. So inequalities and simultaneous equations will stay with you all the way to grade 12, right? We're just gonna make them a little more difficult as we go along, but you need to know them. Now, yeah, some of this I'm gonna upload here on this my TikTok channel, and some of the others will be on the YouTube channel. And that is simply because some videos are longer than 10 minutes. And YouTube all along has allowed me to keep them more in detail. Right, so if you want all 9 variations, feel free to log on to Maths and Physics with Mr. Simons. Right, you should find everything you're looking for there. Right, but let's look now at how to solve literal equations or linear equations. So the question will always state solve for x. So what we mean with solve for x is we want x on its own as the subject of the formula. Right, now there's 2 ways I can go about it. Yeah, 5x minus 25 equals 0. Can look here by 5 and 25, what value can divide into 5? And into 25, it's 5 itself, right? So there I can say, if I take out 5 as a common factor, then it becomes 5x divided by 5. Minus 25 divided by 5. So this is what we mean when we say take out a common factor equal to 0. Or we can just say 5x, or let me not do that second, let me do one at a time. Right, so there you understand now I've taken out 5. So 5x divided by 5 gives me x. 25 divided by 5 gives me 5. And that stays negative. Right, so 0 divided by 5 is 0, so therefore that 5 falls away. And I'm left with x minus 5 equals 0. If I take negative 5 across, it becomes positive 5, therefore x equal to 5. So you see, solve for x, I have x on its own and the value. Easier route with the linear equation, I could have just said, take negative 25 over and it becomes 5x equal 25. We always divide by whatever the common factor, or not common factor, coefficient of x is. So there are 5x divided by 5, and what I do on one side, I must do on the other side. So therefore that becomes 25 divided by 5. 5 divided by 5 becomes 1, so therefore I have 1x. 25 divided by 5 gives me 5. And there I have solved for x. All right, let's look at the second problem. Right, now solve for x again, 1.2. Now they've given me 3, 5x minus 2 equal 2, 4x plus 11. So now we're first testing your distributive law. There are 3 in the bracket. There's no plus or minus sign in between. So therefore it means we must multiply. So 3 times 5x becomes 15x. 3 times negative 2 becomes negative 6. 2 times 4x becomes 8x. 2 times 11 becomes 22. Right? Now I'm going to take all my x's to the same side. So 15x, if I take positive 8x over, it becomes negative 8x. Left with 22 here. If I bring minus 6 over, it becomes plus 6. 15 minus 8 gives me 7. So 7x equal 28. And always we divide by the coefficient in front of x, right? So 7x divided by 7 gives me 1x. 28 divided by 7. So 7 goes in 28 4 times. So therefore x equal 4. Alright, so I hope you follow. Very important that you understand, and not preempting. I'm talking based on 22 years of experience tutoring and over 25 years teaching. What learners do, especially when you come in grade 10, you're still confused of whether this is multiplication, addition, or subtraction. That 3 is next to the bracket. There's no plus or minus sign in between. Therefore, we are required to multiply. Only when there's a operation sign in between them, then it's no more multiplication. But I can still write 3 minus and then multiply the negative in. Right? Let's look at the third problem. Right, so there they gave us 5 minus 5x plus 7 minus 2x equal minus 3. And you see between the 3 and the bracket, no plus or minus sign. So multiplication still, x plus 2. Right, so there minus 5x minus 2x, group them together, 5 plus 7. Negative 3, so negative times positive, say negative 3 times x become 3x. Negative times positive becomes negative. 3 times 2 gives me 6. Right, take my x over, so minus 5x minus 2x gives me minus 7x. We take minus 3x and we take it over, that becomes plus 3x. So now I have minus 7x plus 3x. Left with minus 6 there. 5 plus 7 would give me 12. If I take positive 12 over, it becomes negative 12. So minus 7x plus 3x would give me minus 4x. Minus 6 minus 12 would give me minus 18. Right, we always divide by the coefficient of x. So in front we have minus 4, therefore we divide everything by negative 4. So negative 4 divided by negative 4 gives me 1x. Right, so that's the objective. Solve for x. I want x on its own as a positive and the coefficient being an invisible 1. Minus 18 divided by negative 4. So negative divided by negative become positive. 4 goes in 18 4 times. Remainder 2 over 4. If we simplify it, becomes 4.5. Right, and very important, we want this as a common fraction. You can't go make this a decimal. Right, unless we ask you to calculate it that way. Hope you follow. Hope I've done justice and you understand me. See you in the next video where we look at the second variation, common factors, right? God bless. Bye.